What's up, Tampa? It is Friday, October 31st. You know what that means. Happy Halloween, y'all.
And if you're just tuning in, welcome to Tampa Talk, your weekly roundup of all things Tampa. I'm Dahlia.
And I'm John, and every week we're here to help you stay plugged into the pulse of the city. Local news that you might have missed, can't miss events that are coming up, and a little Tampa history just to help keep all the things in perspective.
Cool. So we'll get into what this week in the work is like. This is a very special day for one of our organizations.
Halloween.
Yes.
Yeah, right. WellBuilt Bikes is 8 years old today.
Yeah, that's so cool.
You know what else? So, sorry for the pause there. So Halloween, and I did it in the beginning a little bit too. So Halloween is also the anniversary of my car accident.
Yes.
And it's not quite 30 years now, so it's 26, 17.
It's my birthday, yeah, so 28.
I'm 28 years ago. Yeah, 20 years ago.
I'm
tonight.
a marker of the anniversary of your car accident.
Because
I was born in 97.
you were born the year I almost died.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's pretty awesome. Now, you went to a conference.
I did. So I went to a food policy summit in DC this week, and it was really, I learned so much, and I think it's because normally I don't do a lot of policy work, right? I'm very focused on like the work in action, right? What the food pantry, the mobile teaching kitchen, homegrown Hillsborough, like it's a lot of the like work that is day to day to keep people fed, to, upskill a community. And, I don't spend a lot of time at city council or in county. I know in the past you have, but it's a piece of the work that I kind of forget about, and yet it can be the most powerful and have the most consequences. And I think we're seeing that right now with this government shutdown, about how all these little policies affect, or where the change actually needs to happen.
I mean, the systems that are in place, they affect our lives tremendously, right?
And so being there, one, just learning a ton about food policy, but then two, amidst this shutdown and how that affects what gets talked about, how it gets talked about, and all the information that was even just like an everyday conversation was really powerful. And then my biggest takeaway outside of just like all the policy is the lack of representation from Florida. And a lot of people from all over the state, especially the Northeast, California, the places you would expect, but not a lot of Florida, if any, representation. Like I don't think I talked to a single other person from Florida. And one, I don't think we're like organized to the right level to like be at the point where now we're leaving our state and talking to federal governments. I think our culture is a little bit of heavy states' rights versus federal power. But that puts us at a disadvantage, when you go into rooms and everyone's talking about a policy, and specifically with the food system, the rest of the nation grows food on a different schedule than us. And
that's right.
That affects how we participate as well, right? Like we've tried to do like Farmers Market Awareness Week, and that's middle of August in Florida, where nothing's growing. It's crazy hot. The idea of going to a farmer's market, most of them shut down.
Things that are happening on a national scale.
Yes.
Yeah. Because like for us, like fall, winters, like you could do quite a bit.
Yeah.
Where the rest of the country is like just dead. Like
our key farmers market awareness week would be like March, April, right?
Yeah.
And yet that's when the rest of the country is just starting to grow. So we're at a disadvantage. And then a lot of talk about like commodity states, so like wheat, corn, soy, and that's a lot of food for animal production, right? It's even food we ship internationally for animal feed. Yet Florida, we actually we grow some of that stuff, but we grow a lot of like the foods for people, because we're tropical, and we the fruit and all that kind of stuff. And I just didn't feel like we were in anybody else's mouth. Not to like fault them, we're not at the table, so like how can we be, right? How can someone? Of course, it's going to be, the Northeast and Iowa and California, if that's who's showing up, when we're just sitting here in Florida, as one of the states that have some of the biggest disparities. So that was a big takeaway for me. While it's not always like the glamorous thing to do, it was cool to, one, know I was representing a state that isn't represented, and then two, to kind of like hear what's going on at the federal stage.
I want to share one more thing about this week in the work, and then we can kind of move on. But it just occurred to me. So, we've been working on getting the shop refreshed. We're calling the drop for the drop-in center over there. And we're opening Tuesday on the 4th. We're going to open our doors. Kind of a soft open. We'll open up as we can. We'll probably a couple days a week here in the beginning, at least November, December. We'll probably do something like a grand opening in January where we're like full on, staffed out, kind of know the ropes of what we're doing and everything. But we've been working really hard on getting the space ready. And I've been working some pretty late nights, just kind of like doing manual labor, getting the place ready. And, your phone does those, 8 years ago today. And it was 8 years ago that, like, this month, like this week even, I'm getting these notifications where it was the same process at the bike shop, because the bike shop opened Halloween. And I was tempted to go, let's just open on Halloween so that we can, like, match our, but, like, we need this weekend. We're not quite ready yet. So, like, I just came from there and I'm heading back, and, like, we got stuff to do. But I just think it's really cool. Like, I was like, apparently October is kind of like a startup time. Like, just there's this weird, like, seasonal thing for us that is familiar. But anyway, I just thought that was a cool thing that I just wanted to share or whatever.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's get into this week in Tampa history. So a Halloween throwback for this week. October 31st, that'd be.
Oh, yeah. I'm just trying to see how this ties into Halloween. But
it doesn't. It just was on Halloween.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, duh. October 31st.
Yeah, there we go.
2006. Busch Gardens officially closed down Python, its very first roller coaster.
So I don't know, some of y'all that are old enough might remember Python. There were like the 2 roller coasters over there at Busch Gardens back in the day. So Python opened in actually 1976. So I went around for the opening. It was the first coaster in Florida that would go upside down. So it was a big moment for thrill seekers back in the day. It made way for the new to get rid of it, made way for the new Jungala area in what was the park's biggest renovation that they ever did. It was small, fast, fun. And I think it rolled twice. I think it went upside down twice, like in a row, like a corkscrew. But it was one of my first roller coasters.
Oh, cool.
I think.
Well, R.I.P. Python.
Yeah. So that's gone. But there you go. That's the throwback. So let's get into this week in the news. Starting off with a major sting operation. Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office just wrapped up Operation Unmasking Predators, a massive undercover operation that led to 171 arrests, including a teacher from Chamberlain High School.
I love hearing these stories, not because I love that these things happen, but when they have these like massive arrests, I'm like, yeah, get them, get all 171 of them in one shot, because it's just awful that this is such a huge part of our cities. But they also rescued a teenage girl in the process. Sheriff Cronister said the operation focused on protecting kids from exploitation, especially leading into Halloween when risks tend to spike. And so, predators of children are usually, not usually always, then banned from even events like Halloween. Like, no, you're not allowed to open your door. You're not like...
Oh, you have to be like totally shut down. And so they are, I heard, and not that many of our municipalities, not just the Hillsborough County, but they're going to be going around checking on those houses during... But I mean, yeah, you send a bunch of kids door to door on these nights.
Take candy from strangers.
Right. Yeah. So it's a time that they're particularly. It's why the timing of that sting operation they're cracking down right now.
Well, in local political news, Naya Young has officially won the District 5 City Council seat. Yeah,
all
congratulations.
Right. So big win, beat Tom Scott in a runoff this week. Will now serve out the term of the late Gwen Henderson. It's being called a new era for local leadership, and one that's deeply connected to our community. And
you're seeing this more and more now, younger and younger people running for local offices and county seats, and even like senates and or not senates, but Congress, I guess, whatever, to represent us at the state, local, county, federal level. And I think that's really cool. Like, more and more young people get into these roles.
I mean, we don't need to go off on this, but so I also love that. I think young people should be leading lots of things. And then on the national stage for quite some time now, I think the opposite's been happening, where I'm like, there needs to be, in my mind, there needs to be a cap.
Yeah.
As in, you should not be able to be a certain age and you're just out of the running. But in some other news, food insecurity is like all over the headlines this week. Pantries around everywhere are seeing massive increase and record demand already. Some of this related to government shutdowns and people not being paid. And then there's like spin-off things. So you have like Head Start that we talked about, and like all these different things. There's having all these effects, or some people, because they can't take their kids to Head Start, are out of work. And so you're getting a lot more demand right now. So Bay Chapel Food Pantry, just one that we happen to share a story about, saw 541 people just on last Saturday. And then the timing, it seems, couldn't be worse. So with SNAP benefits, they're set to expire today, actually. So the day we record is actually on Thursday, but when I'm saying today, I'm saying when you're hearing this. So like on Friday is the kind of end of the SNAP benefits, because it's as of
November 1st. So the first of the month
on
is
Saturday.
When you get your new set of money.
Yeah, and that, so it doesn't look like that's going to change between now and tomorrow, and this will affect roughly 42 million people that are currently utilizing benefits.
It's roughly 1 in 8 Americans, and then it's also we're talking about like about $200 a month per SNAP recipient. It's like short of that. It's like 180 something, but it's about $200 a month per recipient. So this isn't like feeding their families entirely, right? This is a supplement to how they feed their families. But yeah, it's a big deal. It's all over the news. I encourage people to read about it. And if you've been looking for a way to help, now is definitely the time. Pantries are asking for donations. Of course, we run a food pantry, the Kinship Free Market. If you're looking to donate to our free market, we always accept non-perishable goods are the best thing to kind of do drives for. So if it's your school or your faith community or, you know, you're doing a party, we just actually had a shout out to this kid who recently did a birthday party and made us the named food pantry and donated a bunch of non-perishable goods to us. So that was huge. Thank you, Nick. But things like that, right? That's how you can help. You can donate to food pantries. Dollar donations are always great because beyond food, you know, we have staff, we have overhead, we have things that we need to pay to make sure the food can get out. But those are, I think, ways that you can help right now.
And also there's a good, you know, because we show up 6 days a week, and when we run out of food, we often just go buy the food we need. We try to utilize food resources that we have, so we're not doing that, but money can help with that. And like you mentioned, faith communities. I talked to a couple churches, and I guess this wouldn't even be a church, but kind of a local Buddhist community. We've actually been partnering more with the Florida Mindfulness community, and then another local church, both of who agreed to put out some, I mean, it's as simple as buying a couple big trash cans and put in the back of, if you have a service or something, and saying, hey, like, we'll fill those up with non-perishable goods, shelf-stable food. We will happily come by and pick those up. We'll bring a truck by and pick them up, or empty them into our truck, leave you the bins so you can continue to do that. But anyway, appreciate any help you guys could do, but also, like, it's about to get weird. I am praying hard that something gives. And, you know, one of our team members said they hope, you know, they think this is going to be like that TikTok ban where it lasted 10 minutes and then Trump came in and was like, I saved the day. I got, you know, we got TikTok back. And it was like so that would be amazing. Yeah. I wouldn't place bets on that, but I guess we'll know here shortly how this is actually going to play out. Yeah.
Well, events happening on this weekend. With it being Halloween, there's a lot going on. So Yuengling Draft House is hosting a Booze and Brews movie night. It's a free event. The Addams Family Under the Stars. And then, of course, food and drinks are available to purchase. So that's over there on 30th Street from 7 to 11. The Hillsborough County Fair is going to be ongoing through November 9th. So this is carnival rides, circus shows, live music, food, and more. The fairgrounds are at 215 Sydney Washer Ride in Dover. Just remember that. The big fairgrounds.
Not the fairgrounds.
That's the state fairgrounds. Yeah. This is our county fairgrounds. So it's $11 for adults. There's discounts for students, seniors, and kids. And then Meacham Urban Farm is having their 3rd annual Harvest Fest on Sunday, November 2nd from 12 to 4. It's $25 for a ticket. This is downtown over on Scott Street by the Encore development, right when you get off the 275. So there'll be live music, farm, barbecue, crafts, and some homesteading demos as well. Should be a really great event. And then within our own house, we've got the Homegrown Hillsborough Annual Conference taking place December 2nd through 4th. You can get tickets for that by going to connect.homegrownhillsborough.com. To attend the conference is about $20, and we'll also be doing a brunch at Meacham, as well as some tours as well of other farms in the county. And then finally, the Well-Fed Community Kitchen Ribbon Cutting Ceremony will take place at TGH Health Park Friday, December 12th from 11 till 2. And stay tuned on the link to kind of RSVP to that.
You should probably help us think about a ribbon cutting or something. Like, we're just opening the doors on the 4th. So I don't know. I'm not as good at thinking about that
open,
stuff.
Though. We don't need to plug that.
Soft open. Yeah, we'll get ready to cut a ribbon.
And then we'll be out at Harvest Hope Park from 10:30 to 11:30 a.m. sharing groceries. So if you do know somebody in need, point them towards the Harvest Hope. And then the Ybor Street Community Garden from 10 to 12 today. And that's what we're talking about, Tampa. So thanks so much for joining us for another round of Tampa Talk.
Yeah, we'll be back next week with more stories, events, and history from around the Bay. In the meantime, we just want to remind you can get directly to the podcast with video at go tampatalk.xyz. And if you want to get this delivered to your inbox every week with a link to all of the stories and a little bit else that we have going out, you can do it in newsletter form. It comes about 6 a.m. on Friday morning. Wordonthestreets.xyz. Otherwise, just please, wherever you're listening to this, leave a like or a comment. Maybe share this with a friend who you think should keep their finger on the pulse of what's going on around town. Yep.
Yeah, have fun and, happy Halloween and be safe out there.
All right. Till next time, y'all be good.